Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Caden Cleveland here with the Oklahoma Senate, and you are joining us for a new segment we're introducing this week called Budget Breakdown. What this segment is, we're joined with our Appropriations Chair here in the Senate, Senator Roger Thompson.
Glad to be here.
Senator, welcome, absolutely. So what this segment is, guys, is each week we're going to sit down, or actually, well, I guess stand up here at Senator Thompson's whiteboard and actually take a look at the Oklahoma State budget and actually try to break it down and explain it in a way where it's just easier to understand and comprehend what exactly is going on with our state budget. So, sound good to you?
Sounds great to me.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Well, here we go. So, this week, what we're hoping to do is really just give a broad picture of what the budget looks like right now. Moving into session's right around the corner. What does the budget look like right now? So, let me turn it over to you, Senator, and you kind of walk us through exactly where we're at, what's ahead for us. So go ahead.
Very good. Thank you, Kate.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here today.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And over the next few weeks, we're going to try to take maybe one item a week and talk about it. But this week, we're going to talk about the Board of Equalization number of $612 million, which will be more than what we had last year. And our budget last year on the appropriated side was about 7.5, a little over $7.5 billion. And so we start looking at $612 million. That's a decent increase.
Definitely.
And so just by way of overview, I just want to walk you through some numbers just right quick.
Awesome.
And so if we got the 612, which is the Board of Equalization number, and by the way, Caden, we will do another one in February. And so that'll give us the exact number.
So this is an early projection.
That's right, in December.
Gotcha.
And in February, they'll come out and give us another one. Oil and gas is a major part of Oklahoma economy, but it's always in flux. And so when I look at this number, it's based on when gas is selling for $3.03 cubic foot, and when oil is selling for $54.89 a barrel.
Gotcha.
Today, we're not there. Gas is about $3.20 a cubic foot, but oil seems to be down a little bit, around $51 a barrel.
Wow.
And so this number is always in flux. But if I just simply look at, 2 or 3 days ago, when I looked at oil prices brought together, we can minus about $62.1 million off of that. If oil gets back up above these prices, then of course this number will go up.
Gotcha.
Now,
so just so I'm being clear here, so the $612 million was what the Board of Equalization projected that we would be above our appropriation count from last year.
That's correct.
Okay. And the $62 million is what is more of a likely anticipation based on what oil and gas prices are right now. Less than the $612 million.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I feel like this number will be less, I believe, when we get into February.
And that will be when they actually put that official number.
That's right.
Okay. Gotcha.
And for their estimate of what oil and gas will be selling for the remainder of the year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, the remainder of these are solid numbers. This is my only fluctuating number that's up here.
Gotcha.
And so when we look at our capital bond payment this year for all the repairs going around the Capitol, it's $18.9 million. Our general medical education, these are our teaching hospitals that the federal government funded through a 1115 waiver since 2001. They decided last year, we're not going to do that anymore. And so Oklahoma had to pick up the price tag for that. That's right at $63 million a year.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then not only did they say, we're not going to fund that anymore, but the money we've given you, we'd like to have it back.
Wow.
And so there's $31 million that we've got to pay back to the federal government. And so we'll be doing that as well. That is a firm number. Also, last year, the Judicial Compensation Board gave all of our judges a raise. And so that's $2.5 million. Last year, we did a $116.5 million bond for the Department of Corrections, and we needed that. Had to be done. But anyway, our payment on that is $7.1 million a year. And then also another federal program, and it's called CHIP. And this is the Children's Hospital Insurance Program. And it has been funded by the federal government at about 96%. And they're dropping that back to 87% funded, and so the state will pick up the remainder of that. So that's another $14.8 million that's going to be there. And then, of course, we do ad valorem reimbursement, and we're going to do one whole segment on ad valorem reimbursement and how that works.
Yes, absolutely.
But anyway, that's $142 million. The school part of that is 70%, so that's $99.6 million.
Gotcha.
But we're going to come back to that. So we start here with 612. And notice down here we got about 270.
Now,
I don't know about you, but I know about me. And $270 million in my bank account's a lot of money.
That's right.
But whenever you're dealing with a state budget of right at about $26 billion, that's not a whole lot of money for us to work with at this time.
So just so I'm getting a clear understanding of where we're at moving into session. So this is our starting point here where we're looking at right now. But we can't just take that $612 million and say, oh, it's all sunshine and rainbows, because we have all of these mandatory expenses that we must pay from the very start, correct?
Right. That's right.
Okay.
And then you got your agency request on top of that.
Yeah.
So like, you got the Department of Education wants over $400 million. You've got the Department of Corrections wants $1.8 billion.
Wow.
That's going to be out that way. You've got healthcare to deal with. And so we've got a lot of work to do ahead of us.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, it makes sense now that you walked us through it. If you're sitting at home and thinking, wow, what did Senator Thompson just walk us through? Don't worry. This was just our introductory video to kind of give us some insight on where our starting point is.
Right.
So I guess the takeaways from today is really to anticipate that budget numbers are up.
Right.
Absolutely. Our revenues are up, and it is a much better picture than it's been the past few years.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm very optimistic about this next year. Cautiously optimistic
Okay.
as we move forward. I think it's going to be a good year for us.
Right.
One of the things that I want folks to know, this is all dynamic. These are live figures.
Definitely.
We're going to be moving through the process together. We have worked with the House on their priorities.
Right.
We'll work with Governor Stitt on his priorities.
Right.
And so over the next few months, it'll come together. And by May, we'll have the budget.
There we go. Absolutely. And hopefully by that time, we'll have a complete understanding of all of the process, everything
Absolutely.
that went on. So that's kind of the goal of this segment, is to help everybody be in the loop on what's going on.
That's exactly right.
So awesome.
So what we'll do next time, maybe whenever we get together, we'll just break down oil and gas.
Love it.
And we'll talk about that for a while. I'll give you some numbers, how it affects the overall budget, what we've done this last month. And just as a little side note, if you're reading some of the press releases from the Office of Management Enterprise Services, keep in mind our December numbers are up, but our December numbers are up based on $70 a barrel oil that we had earlier in the fall. We do not have that now.
Right.
And so we're about 60 days behind on those numbers.
Right.
So I expect to see the lower oil prices come in February, March.
So that'll be gotcha. So that'll be later the next quarter,
Right.
where that actually,
That's
there's kind of a delay there. Is
That's
that
right.
Okay, gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha. Okay, well, Senator, thank you so much for taking the time to explain where our starting point is right now. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If I know this was a great little explanation of where we're at right now. Just to kind of break it down, and kind of a key takeaway is to really understand that there are some expenses that must be covered before money is dished out to all the agencies. I know a lot of people are really excited about our increased revenue, but there's always, you got to keep in the back of your mind all these expenses that must be taken care of first.
That's exactly right. We've got a lot of needs that the state of Oklahoma has, but we're always going to be protecting the taxpayer dollar.
That's right.
That's why we're here.
Thank you so much, Senator. And guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be back next week. We're going to be breaking down, like Senator Thompson said, breaking down all these each week to further explain everything. And if you do have any questions, I really want to encourage you. We want to talk about whatever your questions are about.
Absolutely.
So in our comment section below this video, I really want to encourage you. Comment, ask us a question on there that you want Senator Thompson's input on, and we'll definitely try to take a look at all those questions. So, Senator, you got anything else to add?
Thanks for dropping by.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.